Hello, future people. Welcome to Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce, and this is Prepare for Conquest.
You can arrange your brushes, prepare your clippers and your knives. But sometimes no matter how many tools or paints you have, it's not enough if the dice are not on your side. Sometimes you only have one choice, and that choice is to prepare for conquest.
So, we're looking at the 100 Kingdoms today, specifically the Chapter Mage. Let's have a look at the rules. So, on the Parabellum website, let's have a look. So, the Chapter Mage is an infantry type, lightweight class, and it's 45 points. So this is on the cheaper side of the stuff that we've looked at so far. We've got a March of 5, a Volley of 3, a Clash of 1, Attack 2, 4 wounds, Resolve 2, Defense 1, and there's no evade. Special rules wise, we have Barrage 3 at 20 inches. We have looked at this rule before, but for those that are not familiar, a stand with this special rule contributes shots if its regiment has taken a volley action. The range is the 20 inches we just said, and the number of shots is the 3 that we just said. Character is obvious. Wizard 5 is the level of your spellcaster. Now, like a couple of other ones that we've looked at before, there's different types of spellcasters listed in the rules in the game. At this particular point in time, they all are the same thing. But later on in the game's life, they do intend on changing how they work and making the different types of things actually work differently. But it's something that will happen later in the game's life. If you take this gentleman as your warlord, then you get the protective glyphs. While this character is on the battlefield, enemy spells targeting friendly regiments count as if affected by enemy interference, regardless of their distance from a friendly wizard priest. In addition, when a character would cast a spell with range self, they may choose another friendly regiment within 8 inches to receive the benefits of the spell, as if they were the caster's regiment instead. It's potentially very, very helpful. Like the others, when it comes to the options such as your heirlooms and stuff, we're going to look at those at a later date. I'm going to head straight down into our sorceries, because that's the next thing that's unique to this character. Now, you must take one of these. So we're going to start with the School of Water, which is the most expensive at 40. Ninwa's Tears, range self, difficulty 3. For each success, the caster's regiment heals 2 wounds, potentially very helpful. Call Fog, range self, difficulty 3, scaling. Until the caster's next activation, all stands in the caster's regiment count as obscured when targeted by a ranged attack. If the regiment is already counting as obscured, then they gain +1 defense against that volley action. So that's potentially very, very helpful defense-wise. School of Fire, for 30 points, gives you Kindle Courage, range self, difficulty 3. All stands in the caster's regiment have +1 resolve until the end of the caster's next activation. Fire Dart is range 16, difficulty 3. Inflicts 1 hit per success. Hits have the Armor Piercing 2 special rule. That's very good. School of Air is 25. Seeking Winds. Range self, difficulty 3, scaling. When the caster's regiment takes a volley action this turn, its shots are not obscured by range so long as within the maximum range of the weapon. We also have Guide, which is range self, difficulty 3, scaling. Until the caster's next activation, the caster's regiment may re-roll all rolls of 6 when rolling to hit with a volley action. For those that are not aware, Conquest is a game where 6s are bad, 1s are good. It's backwards than the way that most games are doing it. School of Earth for 25. Now, we've got Earth to Mud, which is range 16, difficulty 3, scaling. If the target unit wishes to declare a charge or a charge or a march action, it may only do so as its first action. If it takes a charge or a march action as its first action, it may not take it as a second action. Sorry, it may not take a second action that turn. So this is very, very helpful when it comes to limiting what your opponents are going to be allowed to do. Stone Spikes is range self, difficulty 3, scaling. Until the caster's next activation, if the caster's regiment is declared as the target of an enemy regiment's charge action, the charging regiment gains Decay 2 special rule until the end of its activation. So there's some really good options there. None of these options are bad either. I'm leaning... I struggle to pick a favourite out of those, to be perfectly honest. I like all of them. I like all of them, and it's going to depend on how you want this guy to go. I could very easily see people having multiples of these so that they've got them for different things. I mean, the healing ability is paramount. But the defensive things in School of Earth are paramount. They're all very, very good. Battlefield drills. Now, you may have one of these, but you need to pay for a tactical tier 2 retinue if you want to take one. They are available. They're down here in Masteries. Well, sorry, they're down here in Retinues. It's restricted, so you can only take one or the other. You can't have both. All right. Bastion 1 costs you 20 points. Gives you +1 defense. Double time is 10 points. Everything from here on is 10 points. Draw the next command card. If that command card is for the active character's regiment, that regiment acts immediately. So this is something that you need to set up, because if you don't set it up, it's not going to work. If it marches twice, it may have an additional mass action. Once that regiment has completed its actions, the character then takes his or her action. If the card you draw is not from one of his regiments, then you need to place it back at the bottom of your command stack. So not only do you not get anything out of it, but what you drew then goes last. So you need to set this up at the start of your turn. We also have Fire in Advance, which is also 10. Starts exactly the same way, so you need to set it up. Now, for this particular one, that regiment needs to use a volley action as its second action. It may take a third action, which must be a march. So this is exactly what it sounds like. Fury 1 is an extra attack. Murderous Volley. If the character's regiment performs a take aim action, until the end of turn, that regiment's volley cause morale tests if the target is within 12 inches. That's very helpful. And then finally, we have Redress Rank, which is another one of these ones you need to set up like the other two. In this particular one, if we use a volley action as its second action, it may take a third action, which must be a reform after the volley has been resolved. So, actually very, very helpful there. Personally, if I was going to take this, I'd be taking it with one of the ones that work directly with the regiment. Because I feel that that's the way that this person is going to work most effectively. Now, going down into Warband, you can also see that they only have one option, and that option is a mainstay of Man-at-Arms. They have nothing else. So, this is only working with it in a very specific way. Personally, I would definitely take one of these battlefield drills, unless you didn't have the points available, because it only helps you more. It means that you get them coming out with an extra bonus. I could even see people taking more than one of these. so that you could have one that's really fast, one that's really good with their arrows, so on and so forth. This is something that's potentially really, really good. And it's not that expensive as a character either, to be honest. Obviously, context is going to be everything when it comes to this. I've only looked at this particular character at this stage. As we get later on in the series and we've looked at more, then obviously you'll be able to see how this weighs up against everything else. But if these armies work the same way as the Wadroon do, I suspect that all of this stuff is going to be very useful. If you're interested in getting into Conquest or expanding your existing force, either use the QR code on screen or the link in the description to open the Parabellum website, and when you're asked if you have a discount voucher, enter Getting Tabled without spaces, just like you see on your screen, to receive 10% off your order. In doing so, not only will you save money, but you also help support our channel without any cost to you. Thank you very much to anyone who chooses to do that. It's greatly appreciated. You're helping us improve our content and bring more content to you. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time, play more games. Ah.